Ang hirap ng tanong. Handa ka na ba? Handa na ba ako? Ay.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Atcha Abe. You can call me Atcha, and if you're new here, welcome. How are you? I make random videos and you're just in time to watch my Q&A video. This video is for those who have helped me make my online peer mentoring last October a success. If you haven't watched that, click it in this card. I have a playlist for that, and this video is also for those people who are watching from Programmers Developers Facebook page. Hello! Ito na po yung request nyo na ma-shoutout kayo sa vlog ko. So, let's start. Oh my gosh, kinakabahan na ako. Let's go! So, we have 27 questions. And I'm going to answer them in order based on when you have submitted them. And these questions are at random. They are not organized into any topic. And we also have anonymous senders. If you ask me, because we have international viewers. Yes, international na po ang ating YouTube channel. Wow! I will answer the question based on the language that it is asked. So, Angge here says, how are you right now? I'm doing well. I'm surviving. But currently, I feel happy. I feel pumped, you know, because your questions, guys, are really challenging. And para po akong, oh, I'm sorry, English. I feel like I am in a Miss Universe pageant right now because the questions are so, you know, hard. And I hope I will answer it well. And I'm doing good. Thank you for asking me. How are you? Please respond to me by commenting down on my video. And next question is from Angelina as well. She asked, what's the feeling of being a president's lister? Any tips? So, if you guys don't know what a president's lister is, here in the Philippines, we have different names for a academic achiever. But in our school, if you are a president's lister or if you want to be a president's lister, you need to have the general weighted average of 95 and above and a no failing grade below 90 per course or subject, if I'm right. Now, the feeling of a president's lister, it's really, to be honest, it's really frustrating. There is always a constant pressure on myself because at the end of the day, your competition is yourself, not your schoolmates, your classmates, it's yourself. And the scariest thing, if you are a president's lister, is that there is always this feeling of, if I am able to maintain this, or if I can or able to do better. Because actually, on my first year in college, by the way, I am a computer science student. So on my first year, I started as a dean's lister. So actually, if you are a dean's lister or a president's lister, you will have a scholarship or discount. So a dean's lister, you will have 50% discount on your tuition fee. And if you are a president's lister, you will have a 100% discount on your tuition. So actually, that is the rewarding part or that's what makes me feel happy. Because, you know, everyone's tuition is expensive and I am trying my best to lessen the expenses for my education. So that is what I do. I study hard. The feeling of a president's lister is actually, the thought of being a president's lister is not on my mind. I don't run for the recognition. I study hard because I want to reward mom's hard work by studying well. Here's my tip. So the next, as you can see in this side of the screen, any tips. So here is my tip. You don't have to put pressure on yourself. You don't need to be an achiever or you don't have to be an honor student. It is better if you can, because there is a scholarship involved and it can help you and your family with your expenses in your education. But you know for yourself your capabilities, your limitations, your strengths, your weaknesses. And as long as you are trying and studying hard, that's good enough. Because you should not compare yourself with others' achievements, because that makes us insecure. That will make us feel hopeless. So you know yourself. You need to believe in yourself. If you want this, if you want to be a president's lister, aim for it. It is not something you dream and just do nothing about. You have to work really hard. Me being a president's lister, I hope I am still a president's lister this semester. To my professors who are watching, baka naman, the joke. But I always try my best, and I know that you need to work hard for something that you want to be deserving of. And that is my tip, to have this mindset of in general, having this mindset of aiming for something, at the same time you work hard for it, and then you will get what you want in return. As long as you have good intentions, you are not hurting anybody through the process. That is my tip for you. If you want to become a president's lister, a dean's lister, or a program chairperson's lister, a achiever, enjoy learning. Because if you force yourself, it won't do good. It won't do much good for you. Because if you are inspired to learn, it will help you be confident in achieving what you want. Ang dami kong sinabi. Kung nasa Miss Universe lang tayo, time out na ako. So, I hope my tip can help you. Next question is from Martin Palacio. The question is, most favorite song you have covered? Shout out na rin. So, yan. Ayan. Ginaya ko yung emoji. So, if you don't know, I have a lot of song covers from 2016, I think. So, I am not a singer. I'm not good at singing. I love to dance. Dancing is my passion. And it's this question, when I first read it, it was really hard because I also loved the covers that I did with my friends. And I guess the first thing that came into my mind is my Malibu cover by Miley Cyrus. I am a fan of hers. So I will put it here if you haven't listened to it. I know it's not that angelic to your ears, but that is my favorite song that I have covered. And Someone You Love, that is one of my recent covers. I will put it in the card as well. Next question is Anonymous. Ayan, Tagalog. Ayan na, magtatagalog na ako. Question, masama po sana sa video. Are you single po? Sasagutin natin yan mamaya kasi. Next question from Julieta Psycho. Any tips for the future IT professional? Hehehe. Heart. Ayan, gagayahin ko yung emoji pag ano. So, actually, I have already made a video about aspiring or current CSIT students, and that video can also help you for being a future IT professional. I won't spoil it that much, but like I have said, even after you have graduated, you still have to continue studying and applying what you have learned in college, and to always be open for experiences. So here is the video of to answer further that question, because my answer for that is long. So next is from RJ Magarte Baral. Hi RJ! Your question is, any tips kung paano o tamang way sa paggawa ng layout and also sa design po? So, I think he is English. Sa tingin ko, yung tanong na to is more on web dev or mobile dev. So, tamang way sa paggawa ng layout and also sa design. So, nagkaroon kasi kami ng web development class, and na-realize ko dun sa subject namin na yun na ang tamang way sa paggawa ng layout is yung client mo or the users that will use your program, application, or website. In terms of designing, people are easily captivated with the visuals instead of the text, diba? So, majority of the people nowadays are visual learners. So, the right way to have your layout or design is to know your target audience. And if you are aiming for a wider audience, your layout has to be more efficient or convenient. As much as possible, minimalistic, only minimal colors, have a palette, a theme for a palette, color palette, and make sure the spacing doesn't feel, when you see it, it's not cramped. Ay, Tagalog nga pala. Ba't ako nag-i-English? Hindi yung, masyadong siniksik lahat ng information. As much as possible, if you can shorten the content of your website, please do so. You don't have to put a paragraph description. You can put captions. And in terms of doing icons can also help you and the user navigate your website well. Even if those icons actually can help them so that you don't have to create a different guide on how to use your website. So that is the goal of doing a website or an app, is as much as possible, it is easy to navigate through your layout, your icons, your visuals, and to be honest, it doesn't have to be bongga. Hindi kailangan yung sobrang angas na may may lumilipad na ganon. Hindi, simplicity is beauty, ika nga, diba sabi nila. So, that is yung tip ko sa'yo kung paano ka makakagawa ng layout and design. If it's either web dev, mobile dev, game dev, simplicity. You can see the effect of simplicity are the most successful ones in terms of design. And if you want to know more about it, I have made a video about web development, and I also taught HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So, click it right here. O, diba? Tamang promote lang ng mga videos ko. Next, another anonymous question. Submitted at 7:52 PM. May time pa. Did you buy WinRAR? Sobrang lap trip nito. Hindi po. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I bought WinRAR. I bought WinRAR ba? No. I don't think I did. You know, I'm broke, so most probably I didn't. Pero thank you for this question. Actually, this question made me laugh every time I check the questions. Next question is from Rael Cordova. Hi, Roel. The question is codes and techniques para hindi ma-hack yung published na website. Okay, eto na. Nagsisimula na yung mga pahirap na tanong. Ang term kasi dito that caught my attention, hack. So, we we all know, if you are a CS and IT student, hacking is not really in the curriculum. Hacking can be learned through self-discovery, self-learning, seminars, and etc. Codes and techniques para hindi ma-hack yung publish na website. I am not that knowledgeable in back-end pa of programming. And the technique, I will try to answer all the questions based on my ability. And please do understand that I am still a student and I don't know everything. So actually, the technique here is to research more. We have a lot of syntax or code for encryption and para ma-protect yung data sa iyong na-publish na website. So, good luck, Rael. I'm sorry if I didn't answer it that well. But guys, if you know the answer to this question, help this girl out. Comment it down below your answers for the question and help Rael para hindi daw ma-hack ang kanyang website. Thank you. Next question is from Joshua Bunag. Hi po ate, pwede po ako mag-submit ng question? Hehe. Yung question ko po ay, do you have any advice for 18 years old like me for web development? Hehe. At the age of 15 po, nagde-develop na ako ng website eh. Smiley face. Thank you, pa-shoutout po ate. Ayan. Hi Joshua! So, ayan guys, so, actually, this is really impressive kasi 15 pa lang siya, marunong na siya mag-develop ng website. Kasi ako hindi. Natuto ako ng HTML, CSS noong junior high, grade 9 I think or grade 8. So actually mga edad niya na to din. 14, 15, 16, ganon. Hindi naman siya dynamic. Yun yung mga pinapagawa sa amin na yung lumilipat-lipat pa ng tab. Ganon. Hindi din siya gaano. Pero I'm really impressed, Joshua, na you are able to develop a website at the age of 15. So, 3 years later, since 18 ka na, kaya mo na yan. Charot! So, my advice for you is to actually look at references of other websites like GitHub or join groups here in Facebook that showcases their creation so you can have an idea and you can also ask for criticisms on how to improve your developed website better. And like I have said a while ago na as much as possible, simple, panoorin mo na din yung web development video ko para mas tulungan pa kita sa iyong katanungan. So, ayan. Thank you, Joshua. Next question is from Rosmel Cuevas. Ate, what's your background sa assembly language? Almost everyone sa class namin ay hirap na hirap. Any advices para maka-cope up sa ganung type of language? So, to be honest kasi yung memory ko, makakalimutin ako. So, napag-google ako, ano nga ulit yung assembly language? So, in general, my advice for you, in any kind of language, high level, machine, how will you cope up is to be consistent in learning. I know as a student, maikli lang yung panahon natin para matutunan ang isang bagay. Pero there are a lot of references for us to go to. We have the internet, we have YouTube. Actually, mahirap intindihin when you learn by reading. That is why we have a lot of YouTubers. We actually have a lot of Filipino YouTubers that create videos and tutorials. So please do check them out. Kasi we can easily learn in Tagalog. Some of us can easily learn a topic like here, programming language in Tagalog. So that is my advice for you. And to cope up is to never give up. Kasi I know it can be frustrating na hindi mo magawa. Pero at the end of the day, you shouldn't be ashamed to ask for help to others. wag mong isiping nakakaabala ka kasi kawalan din yan sa'yo kung hindi ka manghingi ng tulong. Kasi hindi ka manghingi ng tulong, paano mo matutulungan yung sarili mo magawa yung kailangan mo gawin? And paano ka makaka-cope up sa ganun topic, lalo na kapag hirap na hirap ka na? Wala yung hugot pero yun. Thank you, Rosmel. I hope I answered your question. Next question. Ito yung pinaka-inaabangan ng mga nasa programmers and developers. From Sir John Bricks Pomoy. May boyfriend ka na. With more than 24 reactions, may isang nag-like at 23 ang naghaha. I don't know kung ilan na siya ngayon. Pero may nag-comment dun sa thread na pinost yung video ko. Na meron akong video na my boyfriend tries to distract me while I play Tetris. Ito na yon. And yes, may boyfriend na po ako. Ayun po. Bakit? Yun yung alam nyo na yan. Kasi naunahan nyo na ako Kaya, ayun. Next question. It's from Sir Aldrian Blanquera. How do you choose the technology that you want to focus on? For the meantime, I am a teacher, still deciding what to do with my computer science degree. So for me, I chose the technology based on how I grew up. It is actually a personal experience or encounter because I am that type of person who is actually a workaholic. I give out my best entirely in what I am doing, whether it is related to computer science or not, because that is just how I am. Our degree doesn't determine our future. You don't have to, how do I say this? You don't have to think to yourself that this is only my career. This is only the circle that I should discover or experience. Most people don't actually end up on a career based on what they have finished. But if you really want to make use of your degree, especially the fact that we studied 4 years for a degree, ending up not using it is sayang, diba? So what I can say for that is try and learn new things, and in that way you will discover your interest and you will discover your strengths in that certain technology that you are trying, because it's like a trial and error at the end of the day. And with that, through that method, you can find other ways that you can use your computer science degree and it's still in line with your career. So good luck po, Sir Aldrian, and I hope that you will have a career someday that you can use with your computer science degree. And yun nga po, I am still a student. So I am open into becoming anything, a YouTuber. Guys, subscribe, road to 600. And I want to become a systems analyst. And I am also open po in becoming a computer science professor. Next question is from Mariel Nabwa. Nakakailang kape ka sa isang araw? Hindi ko kaya gayahin yun. Ganon. Nakakailang kape ka sa isang araw? Adik po ako sa kape. Sa mga mahilig magkape dyan, like this video. And, charot, masama yung sobra-sobra. Masama uminom ng sobrang kape. It's not good for your health. And to answer that question, the maximum coffee intake is 3. Coffee ko black pa po yun. Take note. Tapos, it depends. It depends on what I have to do because I need to keep myself awake. The effects of coffee are different for people. For me, that is why I don't drink too much coffee then, even if I love coffee, is that it either makes me want to go number 2, it makes me so hyper, it makes me anxious, or it makes me sleepy. So that is the effect of coffee in me. And the general, the average, the moderate coffee intake is 1 to 2 coffees, and it also depends on what I have to do. But I love coffee ko black, coffee ko, baka naman. Kapag I don't drink coffee ko black, kung hindi naman kailangan maging alert masyado. Next question is from, paano ko yan babasahin? Paano po kita isi-shoutout? Scamophobe Aptem. Hindi ako marunong magbasa niyan. Ang tanong niya is, totoo ba na ang mga babae ang pinakamagaling na programmer? Kung totoo, di kayo na. Grabe naman. Pero actually, ang effort niya kasi, ilalagay ko din dito, nag-send siya ng article. Nagtanong ka po kuya, tapos nagbigay ka din po ng sagot. So, pero thank you kasi you gave me an idea. So, ito yung article niya titled Breaking Down Gender Stereotypes, Why Women Are Seen as Better Coders. Ayan. So, actually, sabi ko sa kanya na gusto ko sagutin yung tanong mo candidly. For me, wait lang. May tumawag. For me, yes, it can be true. However, I have to be really honest with you. Pinakamagaling na programmer is not based on genders. I am open to the fact that our gender is commonly... I am aware that our gender is really a factor on how we look into a person. And in the world of programming, women are frowned upon or are... Tagalog nga pala, sorry. Ang mga babae, mababa ang tingin sa mga babae na programmer na nasa CSIT field. Pero ironically, di ba, we know a lot of women in the industry who are successful, starting from NASA, going back to Ada, the first programmer. Women are capable as much and as equal to what men are capable of doing. At the end of the day, gender should not be a way to divide people in the community kasi kailangan natin ng isa't isa and there shouldn't be any competition whether kung lalaki ka o babae ka. And ayun nga, that is my answer. And I also checked the article that you have sent and I have read the conclusion. Parang nalungkot ako. Yun nga, we should not divide women and men in the programming world. And we should lift each other, support each other. Kasi yun yung nakakalungkot eh. Bakit may competition? Sabi niya kung totoo, di kayo na. Sabi ko, ayun. Next question. Ayan. From Trisha Regacho. Madami siyang tanong. Thank you! So the questions are, first, what are your plans sa buhay? Sa totoo lang, English. To be honest, I don't know. Because especially with the pandemic, it's really hard to foresee a future that you want to achieve, that you want to dream, that you really look up to, that makes you get up the next day. Currently, I still plan to continue without a plan. In a way that the important thing is you make each day worth your time. You give the best that you can every day. And that is what I do. That is my drive to continue life. Even if I haven't figured out the future that I want to achieve. Next is thoughts for the 2022 Philippine election. A political question. Oh no. So people might be wondering my thoughts in terms of politics. And the 2022 Philippine election is really a controversial topic. People in social media are using their voices for people to vote. Not only vote, but vote wisely. It is really sad because people are losing their humanity in terms of other people's opinions, objectives. People will hate you if you don't believe what they believe. I would just like to remind everyone that we are different and we should respect everyone's opinions even if it is not what we approve. The important thing is to use your right as a Filipino citizen to vote wisely. I am not actually really into the topic of politics because it makes me sad. We are fighting for our right. We are fighting for the Philippines. For the sake of the country. For the people. There are always problems that we have no control of. And the only thing we can do is to use our voice, use our platform. I am using my voice right now for those who are voiceless. It is up to those who are watching right now if you will listen, if you will respect, and if you will understand my thoughts. Because people fight because of this topic. And I want you to understand that to be open-minded of what others have to say. It's so serious. Next question, what motivates you? My motivator in life is, it may sound cliche, but really, YOLO, you only live once. Especially, it is evident that our time is limited. We only have one life to live and we should not waste it. And what motivates me is to give my best always. Because I don't know until when na lang ako dito. Not to sound really pero that's the reality. You have to give your best in everything that you do. You should not be hard on yourself. So that's one thing that motivates me. And another thing that motivates me are you guys, for your endless support, for your feedback. I love reading and responding to your comments, telling me that I am helping you and you are learning. Thank you so much. Next question, how do you keep your well-being healthy? So how I keep my well-being healthy is actually all the hurt that has been given to me from my friends, my family, loved ones, peers. Actually, those things make me strong. Kahit masakit, even though it hurts so much, and even though some of them haven't really realized the impact that they have given me mentally, physically, emotionally, I keep my well-being healthy by looking at it as a way for me to be more stronger, to not be affected of the words people are saying in front of me and even behind my back. A way for me to keep my well-being healthy is to focus on the people who love me, who support me, and know that I know myself better. So if you are being frowned upon, if you are being belittled, you know yourself better. And you should not always think highly of yourself. We are human, we make mistakes, and if there is something that affected your well-being, please take into consideration na you might really have done something wrong. So always be open in listening to people, changing for the better, not hurting other people through words and actions. So that's it. And last question from Isha, who's your inspirational person? Like someone you look up to. Recently, I have seen a lot of millennials and the Gen Z peeps out there who are really inspirational in the CSIT world. I look up to them because they are sharing their knowledge locally and internationally. That also inspires me to do the same. It really gives me motivation to work hard in order to not only be successful as a person, but it's fulfilling to know that you are helping other people be successful as well. Next question is from Ian J. Senit Dinopol. What was the first programming language you've learned? What is your bias in programming languages and why? Pa-shower out sa vlog. Haha. Ganun yung emoji niya. The first programming language that I have learned is Java. What is your bias in programming languages? Okay. Like I said, I'm still a student. I only know Java, PHP, and SQL. SQL is a debate if it is a programming language. If you want to know my thoughts about SQL being a programming language, click it in the card right here. O, diba? Merong plug ulit. And bias. We were always taught, our teachers always tell us that these programming languages are easy to learn. Especially when you learn one to another, it will be easy for you to learn because the concept is almost the same in terms of functionality, in terms of structure, because the definition of programming languages is sending instructions to the computer. So these instructions almost have the same logic behind them, also have the same structure, but in different styles, in different syntaxes or variables used, different symbols to be used. So it depends. It also depends on the person if they will think that programming languages are easy or hard. But for me, it will be easy to learn programming languages and enjoyable, to be honest, because it is still upon you on how you will learn it, how will you apply it, and you should always know that in order to create something, you should always start with the basics. I know we want to be at par with people who are creating these applications, these websites that are really advanced in our eyes, but at the end of the day, we should learn basics first, and then from then on, step by step, one step at a time, you will be able to create something more than what you're capable of. Ang tanong lang naman dito, programming languages. Ang dami ko na namang sinabi ulit. Pero, thank you, Ian. Next question by Maverick Tena. I really liked your videos and planning to start my own tutorial on how to build a web app using Mean-Mern Django framework. I'm on my way and almost finished my website. Any advice on how to be good on sharing something to people? Thanks. So, Maeve, how to be good on sharing something to people through your tutorials is to really be prepared on how you will teach them. Make sure that it is easy for them to understand. Always consider the pacing of your tutorial. Always, I suggest you, if you will make a lengthy video, put timestamps on it so they will be able to choose on what part they want to learn. Always be mindful of the demonstration of the screen. If your code, most of the videos on YouTube, they have small fonts on their code, so make sure that is easily readable, and make sure that you can make more examples that can be comprehensible by doing analogies, examples, or you can apply experiences that can be related to your topic that can be easily understood by people, even if they are not a CSIT student. That is my advice for you, and good luck on your tutorial, Maeve. Next question is from Sir Renz Barnedo. React Native or native script in terms of performance? I'm sorry, I am not knowledgeable about it, but don't worry. Like I always say, once I learn something, I will share you my knowledge. So I have actually prepared and researched an article about React Native or native script, and I will read it, and then I will go back and let you know my answer to your question. So ayan na, React or native script.
One eternity later.
Okay, now I'm back. So di po kita binigo. I tried to understand this, and based on my understanding and to also help people be informed, I will put the reference or article in the description. So in order to define and understand what React Native or native script is, it means that you write your app and then either React Native or native script compiles or rather interprets upon runtime the code base into native user interface components. Behind the scenes, what happens is the calls written in JavaScript in each of the tools are mapped to those respective to native UI elements on a given mobile platform. So it also says here that it is important to remember that React Native and native script don't spit out the code in a native app language like Kotlin for Android or Objective-C for iOS. So to answer your question in terms of performance, according to Mahanoak in this site, Montreal, tama ba ako? Yes. She says that in terms of performance-wise, React Native and native script are comparable. There might be some differences depending on the kind of application, platform, viewing, device, and the version of the framework used. But for example, apps with many animations easily achieve 60 frames per second frame rates with both native script and React Native. So it goes both hand in hand. It depends on whether you choose native script or React Native. And from what I have learned here, am I right? Going back, React Native is by far the most popular cross-platform mobile development framework. However, to conclude the answer here, whether or not who is more useful or is more above, I would say, in terms of performance, the conclusion that is stated here is it doesn't have a clear winner, mainly because it depends on the availability of reliable and experienced specialists. Filipino specialists. So it depends on the developer, and also aside from the person working behind that framework, it also depends on the maximization of performance and user experience of the app platform, especially considering if you're building a robust or feature-heavy application. Mostly depends on the capacity on which framework that you will use. For developers who are also curious to know about which framework to use, so it is said here that the developers or software agencies should have an experience in both JavaScript if they need the application to run on both Android and iOS. So in terms of performance, aside from the technical aspect of it, it depends on the programmer as well for efficiency. So I also read the reviews here that this is actually an average type of article in terms of defining it. And you can, if my answer didn't satisfy you that much, you can look on the web. So I hope I was able to answer it, even if it's my first time knowing about React Native or native script. Thank you, Sir Renz, for that question, because it also helped me learn a new framework. Next question is from Lloyd Ryan Canientes Swilien. I hope I pronounced it right. Here is the Miss Universe question. Wow! If, for example, you were asked to make a system program for our country that will help the development of the Philippines, what is that and why? Note: no one else has done it but you. My family. Okay, after minutes of pondering my answer to this question, I have came to the conclusion that if I am asked to make a system program for the development of the Philippines and no one has ever done it, I would like to to make a program in line with the national ID that is being developed for the citizens, for the Filipino citizens, that will help them know what they can do with the national ID. It will have features for a more convenient and accessible process online that will help them to not venture out physically in order to process something, especially if it has to do something with applications or filling out forms. That system program can have a variety of many interfaces, of many easily fillable forms for them to use, so that they won't have to really pay just in order to go from one place to another. So that is my initial thought. Thank you for that wonderful question. I hope that answer satisfied you. You know, it's hard because there are a lot of systems that has been done, but my answer is in line with national ID, because initially when you think of national ID, it's convenient, like a unified ID. There has always been an issue with getting IDs here in our country, and I would like to make a system program that can help them to not go out and for them to apply, to wait hours in a line just to fill out a form. So that is my answer. Thank you. The next question is from Joshua Alcala Opril. Sabi niya, Paps, wow. Any other way para ma-motivate ka pa mag-aral ng programming? Lately kasi nahihirapan na ako mag-focus even na wala naman akong ginagawa. Actually, one thing that can motivate you in learning programming is asking help and learning with your classmates or learning with your friends and helping each other learn and understand. Actually, one thing to motivate you is that when you program, may copy-paste. And even though you are copy-pasting codes, we all know that hindi natin naiintindihan kasi copy-paste, lalagay lang natin, tapos pag gumana na yun. That is not the case. One thing that motivates you, it is easy to look for codes or to look for answers in order to create a program. However, one thing is that can make you driven is to enjoy learning. Look for sources that can help you be more interested in programming. And for you to focus more is by challenging yourself on how you can learn programming better. We have applications we have games that is about coding. There are quizzes that you can try. There are puzzle games that can help you think logically more, that can help you in your programming to further understand what you are planning to do or what you are tasked to do. So I hope I helped you, Joshua. So next question is from Sir Ronel Dayanan. Ito na naman. Native, cross, or hybrid for mobile po? What are the pros and cons? Again, hindi po kita bibiguin. I will not let you down. And give me a moment for me to answer your question. I will search it for you po. Wait a minute. Native, cross, or hybrid for mobile?
8 semesters later.
Okay, I am back, and don't worry, I will put my reference in the description. So my reference is from railsware.com, and the author is Sergey Korolev. And actually, Sir Ronel, thank you for asking me this question because it also helped me learn something. So from your question, what are the pros and cons of native, cross, and hybrid for mobile? So upon learning these three, para siyang it's like a car that we have like manual or hindi manual. It's like the Tesla, or like cars that are hybrid, electric, or you need to put gas. So I had an idea na maybe that's like also in the aspect in mobile development. And upon learning this article, I have realized it has the same ideology or concept in terms of platform, on what tools to use. So to further elaborate, according to this article, the pros and cons for each native, hybrid, and cross-platform is that in native, the pros is there is full access to devices or operating system features. It also has a powerful performance. It had, from the word itself, it has a native user interface, and it is also updated along with the operating system. There is efficient application running, a high quality functionality and UX, and there is access to all native APIs and the platform specific functionality. The cons of native, it has no multi-platform support because it only has one platform, and you cannot really have another platform to support it because native is only one. And the cons here is high development costs if different operating system support is needed, and there is no code reuse. So actually, upon reading this, I have learned that most developers are dreaming of a native platform, but it is really costly based here. Next is about hybrid. The pros of hybrid are the following: lower development costs, different operating system support, code reuse. It is cost-effective development. There is a big customization capabilities. However, if you use hybrid, there is a slower performance. There is actually limited access to OS features, and there is no interaction with other native applications. So it is a so-so for hybrid. And last is the cross-platform. So in here, the pros for the cross-platform, it supports different OS, and the UI's performance is almost as fast as native. There is also code reuse, and it is cost-effective development. And it is noted here, however, a new language or approach will need to be learned. And the downside of this, it also has a slower performance. There is a limited access to operating features as well, but it is not as limited as for hybrid. And there is poor interaction with native apps. I hope you have learned the pros and cons of these mobile platforms po, Sir Ronel. And I hope those who are watching also learned the differences of each. So, next question. This is actually the last question. This is a very long video. Pinahabol to ni Sir Carl ngayong araw. So, I got you, Sir Carl. So, this is from... Hi guys, this is me editing Atcha, and na-realize ko na nawalan po tayo ng footage. Kasi baka napagod na din po yung aking cellphone sa pag-record ng sobrang haba ng Q&A video. And, ayun nga, pahabol ni Sir Carl Castillo, ano po ang in-demand ngayon na technology for both software and hardware? Nakalimutan ko na po yung aking sagot dyan. But in terms of technology for both software and hardware, ayun, as from what I can remember, what I said here is that it depends on what kind of technology, because technology is a vague word in terms of determining the in-demand for software and hardware. What is the scope rather of this technology? Is it for the medical field, the technology for the medical field, astronomical field, entrepreneurial field,
For the academe, it depends for software and hardware. So I cannot actually answer what are the kind of technology that are in demand for both software and hardware because there are a lot. And to answer your question, I made a video of modern technologies in the pandemic era that might help you, but however, that is more on the software. So I will put the image of the video here. So I hope it can help you. So that is the answer. Thank you.
Naputol ang aking outro. And maraming salamat. Always take care of yourself. Never stop learning. And have a great day. Bye, guys!